Good morning, everybody. It is the early bird morning show, and today it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be. My dog just got in his beautiful chair. Today it's gonna be Apple versus Facebook. We saw yesterday Google versus Microsoft. Google won that race, and today we've got going on Apple versus Facebook. They're gonna open their books after closing bell. So in day trading, you don't have to worry about that. But it's going to be an exciting day, just like it was yesterday. What will it do to the market today? That's something that you really want to know, of course. And we also got the Fed speaking today about their strategy for the coming quarter of year, I think, but I don't really think that there's going to be some news coming out of that one. So always keep an eye on that, because, well, you know, you never know. Let me say that you just never know. And if there's some little quote in there that says, well, maybe we just might, if everything goes like, and you're in a trade and it goes down or it goes up, depending if you're a short or long bias at that moment, then really you have to be very careful. So when the Fed speaks, I make sure that I'm out of all of my trades at that same moment, because, well, maybe I don't say it out loud, but it can always be interpreted as something that is, let me say, cause for some panic or a little disturbance, and then you're just nice long in the stock, and then it goes down 10%, and then you lose all the money that you made on that day. So how's everybody doing? I see the first. Hey, Raiders. Good to see you. OP, bonjour. OCGN, soul disgusting. Sorry. Soul disgusting. And trading with no limits. FAF play this morning. I'm going to write that down. And I also had written down OCGN. No, I didn't do that, but I will, because we cover that almost every morning. So everybody, good morning. If you're looking at this live right now, please hit that like button. We need that at Benzinga right now. We want to grow this channel, so hit that like button, hit that share button, share with your friends, leave a comment under the video after the live. React in the chat group. We're going to do a lot of tickers, and we're going to do a lot of opening action. Let's see what's happening there in a moment. But first, I think I want to show you, just let me pull this one up. What's all about this Apple versus Facebook thing that we have going on. So tonight Apple comes in with its earnings, and Facebook all after closing bell. And what did Apple just do a few hours ago? It made some changes in their privacy. So that's just to bother Facebook, I think. So Apple has earnings tonight, and Facebook has earnings tonight, and Apple just brought out this little video here. You can play it if you just Google this one, and it says the way we do privacy, nobody else does. So we are the real privacy company, and Facebook is not concerned about your privacy. At least that's what Apple says. I have no opinion on that, and this is just a little trick because they go into earnings. They could have done this tomorrow or the day after or a week from now or a month from now, but what they do now is they change the privacy statements in their new iOS, and that's just to pee off Facebook. That's what's going on with that Apple and Facebook. I'm not gonna trade either of them after hours, but it's just nice to see. And what other news I've got this morning in Europe is that Goldman Sachs, that's this one here, Goldman Sachs sees commodities rallying over the next 6 months on strong demand. So OPEC came had this meeting yesterday, and they say, okay, we're going to pump up more oil. That's basically what they say. So oil will be pumped up, and but demand in this doesn't open, but this is what it says, and demand will also go up in oil. So if you are into commodities or into oil, then you really should take notice of this news just coming in 1 hour ago or something, and it says, okay, oil prices on the next 6 months may be going up, at least going to be volatile. So if you're in this kind of stuff, please take notice of that. It's fresh from the press, as we say, and it just might do something to the commodities if you're in that kind of stuff. I leave it to pre-market prep, to Joel, to really interpret this one. But this is, I think this is news that will certainly affect all the people who are in commodities. So that's the other news today. Do we've got more news than that? Yeah, well, the big news yesterday, of course, and Microsoft. That's not right, of course. That's the other one. And it's not even Monday morning. This is what I'm just thinking what's going on here. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. Of course, I'm not doing this right. I never play these big boys, Mr. Softy. So this is what happened to Microsoft, and this is what, if you want to play this one, then you should really. I played it when it was a lot lower than this. I'm just struggling now with my screen here. So this is Microsoft yesterday. You see this nice trend up in expecting big earnings, of course. And then when earnings came in, it did this. And now pulling back. So on Facebook and on Apple, This is Facebook. Already dropped a little on that news from Apple, maybe. But just, well, just chop along the way here. And then we're looking at that other Facebook and Apple. This is Apple. Also not doing very much. I'm just having this feeling that I'm not getting the right graphs up here. So I'm just gonna make sure that I have that I'm okay with that. Okay. It's now just refreshing, and let's be sure that I have my graphs right. So, okay. There's troubles there. Just hold on for a minute, bear with me. So what I have today, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 tickers for you. And I'm going to take some tickers from the chat also, of course, and I'm going to look at what's happening pre-market right now. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want to see. So that was some rocky start, but there we are. MNMD, not to. Let's look at this one because it made this huge move yesterday. So look at the daily first. So this is now live action. I didn't get that just a few minutes ago. So this is MNMD yesterday. This big move, rejection of this $6-ish level, and it's really hard to see if there's some kind of level here that you can play off, because after a move like that yesterday, this is a tricky one, and this is what here we are on MND. So it's an IPO, name was changed, and after the name change, this happened. 1, 2, 3 got rejected here. I have to be a little bit more precise because this was 577, and really tries to hold this one now. So will this be a second day runner? I don't know, but it's getting some action already in pre-market, not with a lot of volume, but you know that it's all relative in the pre-market. Looking at any, there's also this 3D corporation had a nice move in post-market. Top this move again in pre-market here, just 264 is now fading. We know the pattern, so don't want to trade that one. I really would put MNMD on your watch list. So that is Mary Nancy Mary Delta, and look at that if that's something that's that you can play today. Okay, let's do some tickers, guys. How's everybody? BA Boeing. Okay, it's ticker time right away. Oh. Okay, I'm looking at Boeing on the daily right now here. played this one before, here and down here. Well, if you see a spike like this, then you're always interested in a stock that does this on any time frame. So this is the spike on a daily. You would have thought that this was the beginning of a new trend up, and you get this spike. Also a little scary also when you see this going on. What happened there yesterday? Let's look at it. Oh, this just might be a. I don't think that this is a real spike, really. So this is just, I think, a dark pool spike. I'm gonna ignore that one. It happens. Those things just happen. So if we're ignoring this one, then this is the real cautious trend up, of course, on Boeing. Just holding now. That's 9 EMA here on a daily, and that's something that you want to see, because if it gets under that, then you see some weakness, and then there is this other level here. This is the 50 on 239. So just get rid of this one here, and then the next one you want to see. So it's between these levels, 239, 241 and a bit, and 244.17. So can really chop between those levels, and there's not a lot of room to play with, because it's stock for $240. So you need some room to make some profit here. So it's a tricky one. You want to see this one. If it really goes, you want to see this one above 244.17. I'm gonna call now, and then you have some room to the upside. So that's BA for you. One apple away keeps a doctor away. Yeah. Trading no limit. This is TC 2000 that you see on right now. TC 2000. Let's do some more tickles, just because it's a sunny Wednesday here in Amsterdam. Well, Fizzle, I played earlier when it was a lot higher, Fizzlink Technologies, so just get rid of those levels, because you also see here this nice retracement here. So down now tries to hold here, tries to get past this 50 EMA that's on a daily here. As you can see, this is the level that you want to see it get over. Now it tried yesterday. Here got rejected, well, real hard, you can say. So what you really want to see is that it gets over this 290, and then your first resistance is at 304, so that's 14 cents. So you need a tiny stop there to play this one. And when it gets above this 304, 306 area, then you can play it. If this is a cup that's forming, then it might just stay here for a while. And if it doesn't, then what you really want to see is, are there some other levels here that you want to watch out for? So this is 317, this is 320, and this is 321. So that tells me that, well, let's look at the quarter dollar. 325 will be the next level for this one. So Levels on Fizzlink are 290, 306, 324, 25. Hey, blind trader, good morning from Kentucky. It's a real early bird or a late bird if you are so sweet. How you look at it. You are in CTRM, so you're a investor or a swing trader. Oh, this is a real small one. We talked about this one before when we saw this one, and this looked like something that was a retracement here. When it got just above the $1, that what we wanted to see then is this. This penny stock at this level, I'm really. If you tell where did you buy it? Blind trader just getting up. All right, good morning. Have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show. And in the meanwhile, hit that like button, guys, please. Adam, you bought call options. That's great. On AMD. Okay, if you're out in CTRM, I don't know where you got into this one, but for a small stock like this to be under the $1 when it's hit this high, then went down, and that's really, really hard. You really have to see some momentum on the day. So if you want to play these kind of stocks, I don't, because they're really too small for me now, or really too small. Then you really have to look at price action on a day, and if there's any volume coming in on playing this one. The level, of course, now for this one is this yellow line, which is 20 EMA, and it's around 55 cents. Yeah, well, let's get to AMD because it's on the top of my list, and I make this list every morning. I get up every morning and look at my news, and I look at my scanners, and I just write them down because that's still the easiest way for me to do it. And if you don't believe me, this is what I do every morning. So look at this. AMD there on top. Can you see that? So we played AMD yesterday because we talked about it yesterday, and I told you, I think if it gets above, yeah, you still can see it here. You want to see the break of 86. That's what we said yesterday. It broke at 86. It was a nice play, just a modest play of just over $1, I think. And I didn't get where I wanted it to go, but look at this. It did just what I thought that it would do yesterday. It did just pre-market, post-market. Pre-market, I have to say. Look at this. These are nice moves for AMD. So this 86 line that we drew here is now out of order. It had to get above that. It did. I expected the move yesterday to be much bigger. It didn't get there, and look at it now. It just got in there. So if you did get above 86 yesterday and you stayed in it because you're a swing trader, then you are, or you bought a call option, so as somebody did, then you are really flying today. And this one can just go on. This is on earnings. Real nice play. And Intel is the reverse of AMD maybe. Just let me see that one. This is what we talked about, I think 2 days ago. If AMD goes up, Intel goes down. So now it just under this price of 57.89, and that's the one that we called out, and really has to get above that again to be a play, I think, for Intel. AMD over 90 today. All right. Adam hopes so. Yeah, of course Adam hopes so. He's in with this nice call. Stacy, HTA looks interesting. Let's look at HTA. This is on a daily HTA. That's a big one yesterday. Wow, Hilltop. Sorry, this is the daily. Those are some crazy moves. That's the real great to see if you are a day trader, these kind of moves. So it got up here, pulls down, and you see this one in 31.80, and yesterday low was 31, so 31.81, and this is 31.89, this low. HTH. Volume coming in now, relative volume, of course. HTH. Okay, so this is the rejection yesterday, 35.22. And this one is also 35.18. So what you see here now on this, and this is why I have to, everybody has those lines here, because it had a lot of trouble passing this yellow line, which is the 20 moving average. A lot of trouble passing this one. So this is what you see here, then gets above it here, and now gets above it here one more time. And if this was resistance for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, then what you want to see now is that it at least holds this 9 EMA now on your daily. So anything above 33.86-ish will be a play for HTH, Stacy, on this one. You don't want to see this one fall down any further, because then it's going under its 20, under its 9, under its 50. So really has to hold this 20 EMA in order to make a move back up on today's action. Dogecoin. I don't do coins trading no limit, because that's another show. Yesterday's show was all about the Bitcoin altcoins on Benzinga, and she's a real expert in this kind of stuff. Not the CEO, but the head of growth. I don't know what it is, but the head of growth yesterday was on the show. It aired yesterday afternoon Eastern time, and he's the guy from Kraken, which is a Dutch word and means squatting in English. But that guy was yesterday on, and he's the real expert on coins. So I decided not to go into coins. I only go into stocks. And why is that? I don't know. I just feel comfortable in that one. So look at the show yesterday, and it was a real great show on all the coins, and they also do some technical analysis on coins. Okay, just let me finish my. No, I'm gonna do this one. My watch list, because I have some interesting stocks for you guys. So this is ALDX. This is ALDX, and this is what it did yesterday. Got up to this 16 mark here, pulled down, then pulling down even more now. So you know what line you have to draw here. This one, of course. And if you draw this one, then you also have to draw this one. And if you want to play this one, then you have to play the breakout trade from this triangle, this nice little triangle here. It might just, because of this gap here, this is this gap up, it might just also go down to this one. So that's 1287. I'm not sure if that's going to happen today. So this one is more obvious for today. This is triangle that you want to see, and you want to play this one in this triangle here. So if it breaks this one, then you trade it up, and if it breaks this one, then you trade it down on the short side. That's ALDX for you. Definitely going to be on my watch list today. We also have TIRX, Tien. That's a big mover, and it's a big mover. Look at this, which is just the stupidest move ever. But we don't pay any attention to that now, because I am a day trader. This one going down like this, and you think here, well, okay, this one's dead and gone. It's gonna fall below this one also. It's a recent IPO, and had something going on here on the news. I remember the news, but just cannot recall it right now. And now it just made this move yesterday, and it's now pushing against this 9 EMA here. So I want to see this one above that 9 EMA on the long side and see if it can really get above this. And if you look at this on a daily perspective, as we do now, this is the daily for this one. It just could fill up this enormous wick. If it does that, then it's the bullish sign that you want to see. So normally this is, if you see this wick on any candle, then you think, okay, this is not right. We're going down again. But if you see this wick and you see some strength in pre-market and when markets open, then you just might consider playing this one above 1863 to 2274. But be aware, because it's a really tricky stock. But I just wanted to bring it up here, and so maybe you can trade it if you like some to spice up your trading. This is FIAC. We played this one here. This is the Agios a downfall, so it's maybe you remember that from last month. Also this big fall here, just like in Tyrex, because I think that was also Agios play, if that's the right pronunciation. This one is already above its 9 EMA and is now going into its next resistance point here at 54.60. So you don't want to see this one fall under 42. I don't think it will. And the other level that you want to see here is obviously this one in post-market, this high here at 43. Well, let us just say 43.50. Let's see if this one's if 43.50 will be a level that you can play it off from, and otherwise it's going to be 42 here. But that's a real big drop, and that will not be the best sign. So you can also look at this low from yesterday, and that it's 42.44. So I'm going to call it also 42.50. A little. Why? No, I'm just going to call the low 42.55. So on FIAC, it's going to be 42, 42.55, 43.50, and then all the way to the top, 45.60. Christian, yeah, we're going to get to NNDM. It's on my list. Frans, this is a good question. Hey, Jason, good morning. Are you up already, Eastern time, or are you traveling somewhere? Okay, guys, my boss is now on, so please hit that like button, because otherwise he's going to fire me. If you don't hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this one with your friends. Come on, let's make Benzinga the biggest channel there is, and make this European show a big success, so we can invite more European hosts and make this a 24/7 channel. NNDM was on my watch list, and Frans, you asked, how do you, what's up with your screens? Okay, so this is my screen. This is my main screen. I have 3 screens here. I have in front here my level 2 and my tape. It's on a little monitor. Then this is the big screen where I have this is my main field, so 4 fields, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here I have my in that corner. This is the SPY, and if I'm not trading SPY but I'm in Qs, then I put on the Qs here, and I'm just looking at this if markets go up or down. I'm just eyeballing this one, because if it's really falling or spiking, then I'm adjusting accordingly. And so this is my main field. What I do, of course, I have my watch list here in pre-market. I look at this one. This is my pre-market watch list that I go through every morning with you guys. And then we have this watch list. Also, not this watch list, but this easy scan here, and the easy scan here. In TC2000, you can choose 500 types of scans. I just make 3 here, some bounces, RSI 25 plays, and RSI crossing through 80 plays. So these are my scanners that I built myself, and all the other scanners that I can use during the day. Okay, then about when I see something happening on one of my main fields here, these normally are all on the minutes. So I look at these and I draw my lines. Didn't do it on any of those yet, but I will soon. And then I go back to my main screen here. Let's take this one. So when I'm going into a play, then I'm gonna use this 1 minute time frame here, 1 minute time frame. And on this 1 minute time frame, this is the 9 EMA, this is the green one. This is the 20 EMA, it's the yellow one. It's the 50 EMA, that's the blue one. Then I have VWAP here, this is the brown one. And then I have the 200 SME here, that's the red one. So on a 1 minute chart, you don't really use that 200 SME, but I really want to see if a stock stays above that 9 EMA on a 1 minute. So I put in my levels, I look at my 9 EMA and then my 20 EMA. 9 EMA is leading on a 1 minute. And then I go to my 5 minute chart here. So on the right hand side of the screen, you see this 1 minute chart, and on the right hand side, this 5 minute chart. And if I'm gonna make this play, you also see those lines on this side of the screen. So 9 EMA, 20 EMA, 50 EMA, and VWAP. VWAP is not important on 5. And then I base my exits, and if I'm going into a play, on the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. I made some lessons about that in my first week, and it's called How I Trade. So you can look back on the first shows in the first week on the Benzinga channel, how I do my setups here. Did that answer your question a little bit, Frans? All shares are going to drop because of the Fed. I don't think so. I really don't think so. That's going to be the case, that they all going to drop. My dog is trading Dogecoin here in the corner. If you can you see it? Can you see my dog there? Just look at it. Sleeping, getting rich sleeping. Okay, let's talk some stocks, guys. NNDM. NNDM had news. It's gonna take over this other company, and NNDM has been one of my favorites, and we talked about this stock a lot during these mornings. As you can see here, so this is the line that we drew, I think somewhere last week, and I said, well, if this is the triangle, this is really, nobody understands this, so I'm gonna just take this away. So I said last week, okay, this is the triangle, this is the definite triangle now. We had this one also up somewhere around here, I think, and thought, well, this is the triangle. It turned out not to be, and we thought, okay, this is what Katie bought it, so this must be the support on this one. It wasn't, and get this one out of the way. So then we had a breakout here, and we celebrated that breakout a few days ago. Then got a little bit, didn't know where it wanted to go, and then got above its 9 EMA here, got above its 20 EMA here, and very important, finds now here some kind of support. Try to get above this 50 also, so it's not a parabolic move. And because of the news today, well, you're never gonna know if when a company buys another company, if there's good news or bad news on the horizon. I think it's good news because they bought a great company, and NNDM is, I think, a great company. But as a day trader, you don't care about that too much. So rejection here, big rejection here. So this might be the rumor that it's bought this other company. And we just have to watch this one on price action today, because this 888 is a long way from where it's standing now. And you just want to see this to hold the 794, this 8 support here. Christian, do you see Arrival getting back to 24.25? You bought options in Arrival. Ooh. I know what Joel would say. That's a volatile puppy. I want a t-shirt with that on it. Volatile puppy. So I'm looking at the daily now, and you want to see that this one coming back to 25-ish. It's not getting back there today. And as you know, I'm an investor. I'm an investor in European stocks, mind you. And well, you can see it right now. So these are the lines. It didn't take out that 50 AMA on 1932 2 days ago. It's now struggling to hold this 200 SME, and you really want to be bullish on 200 SME if you are bullish if this one is above the 200 SME. So you don't want to see that falling underneath that. So the levels for a day trader would be 1767 and 1932. That seems an awful lot, but look at this ATR of $1.5. So it can move $1.5 a day, and that's on average. And I just told you I need the t-shirt, but it is a volatile puppy, so it can move a lot in one day. But in order to reach that 24.96, you really need to see this break of 1932 again. And look at the volume on a daily. This is not normally not on any time frame. You don't want to see this. This is also something that's peculiar, at least 1, 2, 3 days in a row, the same volume. So 1932 to break in order to get above that. Goofy, why am I awake, Moleman? Yeah, that's the big question for everybody who's now in the States and is awake. Oh, September call. So you have to tell me, oh, okay, yeah, then you're in a good place. So, well, you're in a good place if it breaks, if it stays above this red line, this 200 SME, then you're still bullish on this one. So be careful, because this one, again, you know the stock, of course, because you could bought calls in it, and it can make some strange moves on one day. So be careful. Goofy, yeah, Goofy. Why am I was talking about ARVL. Credit Suisse, CS is the worst bank here. We talked about ALDX already just a few moments ago. So please look into that one if you want to. Just scroll back the video, watch back the video. We talked about ALDX already. What did we talk about? There's only 10 minutes left, I see now. So that's, we talked about this one. I want to go to Macy's. Not shopping, but I want to go to the stock Macy's. Look at this stock now. This is the line that we drew the bump on, I think, 4 days ago or something on this one. And that's what we saw here, that it was struggling a little bit to get above this 9 and 20 EMAs here. And it stopped struggling because it just moved right through it yesterday. So now what you want to see here, and what you see here is this. You see 1736, you see 1733, you see 1736. What does that tell you? That 1736 was support, and if 1736 will now be, let's be just, oops, 1736. If this one is, if resistance turns into support, that's the lesson that everybody knows. If resistance turns into support, so if 1736 is support, then you are building on this support line here for Macy's, and I think that is a stock that you have to keep in mind. Today it had this high yesterday of 1757, so it's going to take out this high today. I'll bet you it does, and it has to hold a 1736 in order to play it. So two levels at least, has the 1736, 1757 on Macy's, and if you want to see this one going all the way up, then you have to just, well, after this one, after 1757, it's blue skies, because here are the next big levels for this stock, and those are at 1891 and at 1892. So Macy's is gonna be a play for me, or it's gonna be on my watch list today, all day long. And then to one of our favorite ones. Does anybody know which one it is? Will pins recover? I'm gonna write down pins for you. Stacy, Amazon went up yesterday. Adam says pins will definitely recover, or definitely. Oh, that's Hey Ramon, AMD will continue to go up. We talked about AMD. It's the first thing that we talked about, Ramon, at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So if you just watch it back later, then you can see what we think about AMD. Charles Schwab has a D rating on, and which means underperform and sell, for your information. That's on AMD, Fake King, or Amazon. AMD, okay, yeah, AMD is going. We talked about AMD. That's the first stock that we talked about. After I fumbled with my Facebook and with my Apple stocks. That's when my charts were not working. Okay, guys, what's my favorite stock? Come on, who knows? I talked about this one all week. Tell me, chat. Come on. I even predicted where it would go. And I seldom do predictions. I do only technical analysis. So tell me. NNDM, yeah, that could have been NNDM. We're going to talk about NNDM. We talked about NNDM already. GameStop. No, Gaun, I don't know. How do you pronounce that? Is it Gaun, like Spanish? Oh, Jaun. That's the Catalan pronouncement, I think. We really have to get to Spain within a few. Everything is on again because my Spanish is lacking. FCell, Stacy. Well, you're close, Stacy. ASML, OP. ASML is my all-time favorite stock because nobody talks about it, and I try to tell Joel about it, and I try to tell Spencer about it, and I try to tell everybody about it. Everybody wants to know. This is ASML. It's the biggest tech company in Europe. Does anybody know ASML? It's the biggest tech company in Europe. It's not a sexy company because they do very, very difficult things. But they are 10 years ahead of their competition, and everybody who knew that bought it here. And my first article on ASML was here, 2016. If you know any Dutch, then you should look it up on my LinkedIn profile. My name is Eric Bosch, and if you look on LinkedIn, you can find it there. This is where I talked about ASML, and what I told there, I think, well, AML maybe might go to 150 or something. So, and look at this. It's my favorite stock, but full disclosure, I'm an investor in ASML, so stop talking about it. But you can push ASML because this is just a big stock. And if we bought it all right now with all the money that we have in our accounts, it wouldn't move a dime. No, my favorite stock, of course, but you know that is not my favorite stock, but the stock that I talk about all week long is Ford. And why is that? Because when we were here on this move here, I drew in these white ones, as you can see. I didn't do this morning, but I did this when stock was here or something. So I said, this is what was going to happen to Ford. It's going up. Now look at this. It's just close a little bit above that 1261, or it's high, and I drew it at 1255. And will this be the next move on Ford here? I make no predictions. Don't listen to me and make your own strategies. It's for information purposes only. I have to say that, but if it does this, then it will do this the day after that. So it has to hold this line here at 1244 in order to go to 1281. Is it a big move? No, it's not a big move. But I like if my predictions come through. So this line here is now obsolete. So again, go now. That was Ford, Macy, and no, we talked about Macy already. Memphis. I have to talk about Memphis, but I don't know what to say. Just tell me. This is crazy. Is this the level? I don't know. 1919. Is this the level or is this not the level? It just might be. And why? Because of this one here. This is the high of 1924. This is the high of 1928. This is a high of 1896. This is a high of 1937. 1938. So it's a difficult stock to trade. And it's a nice stock to trade if you know what you're doing. But if you're just starting out in this field, then I would be very careful here because it's really difficult to trade this one. And really it's difficult to say this is going to be a level or this is going to be a level. So I drew these lines now, 924, 919. So that's not one, it's not a support line, but a support area here between 1924 and 1919. This is on the 1 minute again. And if it gets under these levels, and I suppose it might just go under there while we speak, then it's short all day long. And if it holds that, then you can play to the upside and then fill this gap to 2096. It's two minutes past 11, and I promised that I would talk about pins. What happened with pins? Did anybody see the news on that one, on pins? Looking at it right now. So article, why Pinterest tanked because of Q1, in spite of Q1 earnings. This is on the Benzinga. Starting in mid-March, the easing of the pandemic restrictions slowed US MIU growth and lowered engagement year over year as people spend their time online. Pinterest projects second quarter revenue rise 100 prior quarter. Okay. So is this a buy the dip opportunity? That's what you want to know on pins. Phew. That's a big ask, and that's a big if. And that's a big I don't know. So what they're telling you is that people spend less time behind their computers. Outlook is fine for the next quarter. Just gave back 10 points. So what you want to see is you want to establish some kind of resistance or support rather. Just bear with me, guys, because I just want to if everything fails, oh, is this a real spike? Is it? One, no, it's just a dark pool spike. No, it is not. It's a real spike. So I'm using my old friend Fibo. It's 7 minutes past 11. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, it looks like we had some support here at this 50% mark. So that's what you see here. It looked like this. There was some support here. And then just got up here and this is what happened. So what you see then on a 38% here, then you see this support not strong, but some. So let's go out of my comfort zone now and say this 6707, which I'm gonna change in this nice round number, then 67. On pin 67 has to be support. And because if it falls under that one also, then you go to this 162, and that's what Stacy told me in the chat, I think, but you don't want it to fall this far. I don't think you want it to fall this far. So 67 is the first support, then 71 is resistance, and after that you walk into this first resistance of 73.56, and then 75.31. We are there. So on pins, we just established 67, 71.25, 73.56, and 75.31 as D levels in pins. So that's a hard one to play if you want to day trade this one. So I really would wait for price action in order to see what's going on with this one. And I'm 10 minutes past 11 now. And we're just going to close with what's happening now in pre-market stocks on volume, and it is RIBT again. RIBT again. So this was his huge play yesterday. RIBT went up to 183 and now tries to get there again. So if you're into the small stocks, then RIBT can be a play if it gets above this 150 here. And this is an intraday line, so get that out of your way. And then 168 is the next level. Some other movers here. Any hit his head here at 264, and you know the line that I'm going to draw now. This is the line here. And if any doesn't get up to its VWAP position or to this open pre-market and close post-market, then it's going to fade all day. So you might have to change this line during pre-market, of course, but if this is what's happening now, I think it will be hard to borrow on any, but if you want to be short in this one, and this is the line that you can draw all pre-market long, then you can go short in this one and get it to 205. NAKD is also on this one again. OCGN, we talked about that. NMD, we talked about this also. Choppy action in pre-market. And AMD, we talked about this one. This is the play of the day. It should have been the play of the day yesterday, as I told you, but didn't get up that far and just made this move post-market, and now trying to get some momentum again in pre-market with low volumes, of course, but you already know that all the volumes are low in pre-market. This is about the relative volume. GSX now going up, but with no volume at all on this 1 minute. So waiting for Facebook and Apple tonight. I'm going to be very curious to see what's happening there. I'm not going to play those cards post-market. I'm just going to sit back and watch the firework. If you like the show, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, share this with your friends. I will be here tomorrow again at 10 Eastern time, and not at 10 Eastern time, at 4 a.m. Eastern time, and at 10 o'clock Amsterdam time. So join me again tomorrow and join the rest of the program today at Benzinga. Next show that will be on is, of course, the pre-market show with Spencer, Joel, and Triple D. And I'm very curious what they have to say about Facebook, of course, and Apple, and also what Joel is going to say about this OPEC news on crude oil. So, everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Happy trading.